Hey guys, it's Gavin, the Transformation Guru here on my YouTube. I hope that you like the content that I'm just about to bring to you over the next 6 to 8 weeks. And if you do like what I'm about, give us a thumbs up and give us a subscribe on YouTube. I'm going to start being more vocal on YouTube within fitness, with what I do in business. And I'm just going to give loads of hints and tips there and hopefully be one of these YouTube influencers with knowledge and quality content and life experience, not some hyped up, drugged up young 20-year-old, which is what I'm kind of seeing all the freaking time at the moment on YouTube, and it's a bit annoying. I'm 35, I'm 36 this year, starting to grow a little bit of grey hair. I'm very direct, very honest with what I say. I speak my mind, but I try and speak from experience, not just necessarily my own experience, but also the experience of other people, and I appreciate the experience and knowledge of people in particular niches. So it could be anything from DNA to the likes of specific sports. It could be in business. Whatever the topic, I like to deal with experts in particular niche fields. And that's where I've always honed into. I have been on a bit of a different journey the last few years since I last did my last physique competition back in Los Angeles 2018, where I competed with the WBFF. I had it in my mind that I was going to retire from physique competing altogether, and I was pretty run down, if I'm honest, like I am a bit now. My immune system's taking a massive kicking at the moment. I'm taking loads of vitamins and minerals and lots of greens at the moment to try and counterbalance the amount of training that I'm doing. But yeah, I was injured. I had loads of issues with my joints. I'd overdone it, so I went hardcore with the weight training. Did too much hard, heavy strength training in the final weeks of my last competition. I didn't quite diet right. Didn't get the result that I wanted. But hey, you know what? Who can say they've been to Los Angeles, did a photo shoot or two, and competed in Los Angeles? It was an amazing experience. I then bulked up quite a lot. I lost a lot of people. I lost an aunt from cancer, a close friend from cancer, business coach died of a heart attack, a friend committed suicide. It was just late 2018 was a bit of a nightmare, and then 2019 I just remember just grafting all the way through to then think, right, that's it, 2020 is going to be my year. And then COVID happened, the C word. Can't say much more about that on my YouTube because I don't want to be struck off, but what I will say is it's not easy being in business, especially in the UK, when Boris just suddenly says, right, close your gym, close your shop. Basically, sack off your DJing, sack off all the events that you do. In fact, we're going to destroy your whole business. I started, that's a nice McLaren driving past. I started the start of 2020, like $250,000 down at least, and everyone started asking me for gym equipment, so I diversified very quickly. I've always sold gym equipment, so I went into selling second-hand kit, and then I recognised that we were running out of second-hand gym equipment, so we went into mass production underneath my brand, Gym Being. And it's been a roller coaster 18 months, but come out stronger the other side. So late last year I started talking to the organisers of the Arnold Expo, first expo of its kind since Body Power 2019, when I last exhibited on that sort of magnitude. So I committed the brand Gym Being to a stand right in the middle of the event. We're right next to Grenade, we're right next to My Protein, we're just off the red carpet in the centre of the event. The event's going to be mental. They've just confirmed Dolph Lundgren, they've got the likes of Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger himself, Eddie Hall, the likes of all the top bodybuilders you can think of, the likes of Ronnie Coleman. They've even got top UFC fighters, the likes of Khabib and George St. Pierre, and they've got the likes of Usain Bolt from athletics. So it's just going to be an absolutely nuts weekend. I remember what it was like years ago when Hulk Hogan appeared at Body Power and you had all these fanboys and everyone just went mental just for him. So being honest with you, to see that just playing with my lights, just seeing that they're gonna have this whole lineup, if they can pull it off and it goes well, then it will probably be the best fitness show I've ever done. So I'm excited for that. Very stressful because, like I say, I've got a stand right in the middle of the event for the Jim Bing brand. We're going to be taking thousands of clothing, garments, accessories. We're doing a few collaborations, teaming up with Fearless MMA Birmingham, where I train with the heavyweights, and got a couple of lads from there helping out. Hopefully we'll have a UFC star or two collaborating with us on the stand. And yeah, we'll be featuring our latest gym equipment, the home gym kit that we've been selling a lot of. We've got new ranges of clothing, so I'm excited to see the interests of people there. So that's exciting. But you know me well by now if you follow my videos. I don't do things by half measures. I'm going all out. So I've actually committed to compete at 2 physique competitions at that expo as well. I know, I'm crazy. But it's such a huge contrast to how I was at the start of the year. The start of the year, extremely stressed out. I'd had to close down a pop-up which I wanted to keep long term, but COVID just wasn't allowing me to keep my shop open really, or it just wasn't feasible to run a shop with no traffic during the peak of the pandemic at the start of the year, and especially when everyone wanted gym equipment. So I just diversified, focused on that. And I was drinking a bit too much and I was eating a bit too much crap, and like I say, I was the heaviest I've ever been. But you know what, I've had a lot of criticism late last year and early this year for piling on a lot of body fat, but what I kept to myself was the fact that I was the most muscular I've ever been. So all I focused on throughout the whole pandemic in my own gym when I got to train by myself was just muscle growth. I was just doing 5 sets of 5 reps, heavy exercises. So I pretty much spent the best part of, since 2018 to 2019, I spent a year recovering, allowing my joints to recover, allowing my body to relax. I've been on the aesthetic bandwagon for the best part of 6 years, competing show after show after show after show. And I finally let my body recover for a year. Then 2019, I just focused on, again, strength training and getting my head straight because I lost a few people. 2020 through to early this year, a good 12 to 15 months of pure growth. I just did weights like 3 days a week, ate what I wanted, was in a massive calorific surplus, eating way more carbs, fats and proteins than my body actually needed, and just ate anything in sight. And I pretty much needed the calories, not just to grow in that period, just to physically get through. If you've ever sold and moved 40,000 kilos, 40 tons of weights within a 2-week time frame, you'll know what that feels like. Imagine the whole country in January this year wanting you for weight equipment because you're one of very few UK manufacturers. All the big boys who import from China, they sold out straight away. Me, I was in manufacturing, and we kept up with demand with the Jim Bing brand. We disappointed a few people, I'll be honest, because a few people just didn't get their stuff on time, and some people are just impatient, and some people are just, well, dickheads. But the majority of people, I'd say 98%, 99% of people we delivered to, and it was probably the most stressful period ever in business, other than like the start of last year at the beginning of the pandemic. Just the sheer demand. Start of the year I was probably getting about 1,000 inquiries a day. Start of the pandemic, in the first weekend I had about 5,000-6,000 inquiries. I used to beat myself up somewhat rotten for years for the amount of time and energy I put into events, exhibition shows. But you know what? When the pandemic hit, without blowing my own trumpet, I was probably the most popular person in the UK for gym equipment, because people talk. And I was having celebs contact me, people who I wouldn't typically be able to do business with in terms of like celeb status, because they get 20-30 grand on Instagram posts suddenly coming out to me saying, oh Gav, really need some gym kit. And they were giving me shout outs, tags, referring me. I'm owed a lot of favors now. So yeah, that's the way business works. And this scobby guy who's been doing nothing but networking for many years suddenly had probably the most part of the gym nation coming to him. So I'm excited to see the landscape at the Arnold in terms of my brand, in terms of the Gym Being brand, in terms of like the networking potential. We are offering bespoke gym equipment manufacturing now. We are doing more with clothing. We are doing more collaborations in the fitness industry. We've got more plans with different athletes and different sports clubs, and it's going to be exciting the next year. So we're doing more with gym apparel. We've got plans with gym equipment, and yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the outcome is at the Arnold in terms of my brand. So obviously this video, I was going to talk about my training, my nutrition, and I'm just going to basically spell out exactly what I've done to get as lean as I possibly can till this date. And then I'm going to give you a quick insight of what I'm going to be doing the next 5 weeks. But I will be doing a whole, like, from dad bod to god bod sort of transformation, from lockdown overweight being the biggest I've ever been in terms of muscularity and fat weight, to literally the most shredded I've ever been. You got to bear in mind as well, guys, I'm 36 this year. My background as a child was I was into UK martial arts, national athletics. I did every type of sport you could think of. I used to play for my local hometown rugby club. I've done loads of sport. So my background is sport. And naturally, I shouldn't carry as much muscle as I do. I can't go around preaching, pointing the finger at drug users, but what you'll probably see is in the theme of my videos, I'm anti-drugs in terms of like sports enhancing, recreational drugs, all that sort of stuff. I've been preaching that drum since I was like 20 years of age, since a friend died as a result of being on the club scene. I've seen friends who have damaged their brains from going too crazy with the recreational type of drugs, slurred speech, can't speak properly, that sort of stuff. I've seen the extremities with the sports enhancing drugs, not just from an aesthetic like growth perspective. I'm talking from a mental health, but also from a death perspective. I've had friends who've died as a result of taking way too much gear, and their body just gives up. And I'm not going to name any names, but I know more than a dozen guys who I knew quite well personally who have died the past 5-10 years as a result of going excessive on the drugs in the fitness game. And I firmly believe it's going to get worse, because we live in this Instagram image conscious culture now where everyone wants to look the bollocks, but some guys especially, and even women now today, they're just happy to take the risks, taking drugs of all descriptions, not understanding the likes of blood works, not going down the route of doing it sensibly, if you want to go that route, just taking all sorts of random substances from random strangers with the hope that it's just going to give them that slight edge. For what? An early casket, I say. It's not worth it. So I've been into bodybuilding since I was pretty much 13 years of age. I'm 36 this year, so the best part of 23 years I've been lifting weights. Teenage years, very gaunt, lean, skinny, struggling to put weight on. Then I discovered nutrition, and then proper strength training methods. Studied the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger's methods, studied the likes of all the old school methodology, and I've worked in gyms from the bottom up. I've worked in gym instructing management, gym management, been around loads of top coaches, loads of sports people. So all I've done from a natural perspective is just took the best bits from a lot of pros and a lot of coaches and applied it to myself, to the point where my own strategy through the last few years was, like I say, break it down in phases. Phase one was to recover my body, let my body heal and grow a bit. The next phase was, without realizing it, I was like, right, can't be asked for cardio because I'm moving all these weights during COVID, helping a lot of people. Let's just shift as much of this gym equipment as possible. Let's help as many people as possible. I had bills to pay, obviously, so the adrenaline was taking over and the stress of that, supporting my family and whatnot. That was important to me. So yeah, half killing myself to get all this gym equipment out. It was proper grueling work. I'm not going to deny it. It really took its toll. So eating whatever calories I needed to just get through that period, combined with when I did get to train, I just trained heavy. I couldn't really be bothered with doing any cardio because I thought, right, my cardio is coming from moving all these weights, and I was probably burning like 4,000, 5,000 calories a day, but most days I'd think nothing of eating 6, 7, 8,000 calories. I'd have like a whole family bucket size food from the likes of KFC, or I'd have a whole like Papa John's massive pizza and sides as well, and without realizing it, some of these calorie foods are so calorie dense. I was having like 4,000 or 5,000 calories some meals. It was crazy. You get in of an evening, you've been running around like a blue ass fly since 6 o'clock in the morning, shifting so much gym equipment during the peak of the pandemic, and just gorging and binging. And the turning point for me was at the start of the year, looking at myself in the mirror thinking, geez, at some point I'm going to want to go back into my personal training full time. I knew the mania with gym equipment wasn't going to be quite like it was forever. We're still getting sales now, but just nowhere near the amount of interest we were getting at the start of the year. So I just knew that I was going to have to go back into doing my personal training again, and that's pretty much what I've been doing primarily for the last 16 years. So that was pretty much a catalyst to think, right, okay, I need to calm down on the family feast meals, got to calm down on eating too much crap and get myself back on track again. And it's nice now in a way. I've spoken to a few clients about it who are in a similar situation that I was at the start of the year, and a few of them have said and pointed out that it's nice that I can actually truly relate to how they feel. And I'll be honest, I really do now. I was really big at the start of the year, really bloated, like I say, almost 19 stone, the worst shape I've ever been in, most muscular but fattest as well. And I'm not going to beat you around the bush, but people are cruel, especially to PTs, especially if you've put on lots of weight. My excuse was I've probably helped in the region of about 8,000 people with gym equipment the last 18 months, and I've helped a lot of people get through this pandemic, so I'm proud of that. Unfortunately, it did get to the point at the other end of it where I just looked a complete mess. So I'm going to break it down into phases of what I've done. I will do a more detailed video on my whole transformation. I'm just giving you guys a brief insight of what's happened the last few years, what my motive, what my reason to train for these comps are, giving you a bit of an insight of how my life's been the last few years. I'm not really a big vlogger. I don't talk too much about my lifestyle. I try and get straight to the point of facts, but at the end of the day, people they buy people, so hopefully if people like my content, they'll look to follow. I'm a bit wired, by the way. I'm just about to have another workout, and I'm on 2 pre-workouts, and I had a coffee earlier, and I'm on an empty stomach. So for my transformation, I'll break it down into 3 phases. First phase is I had to break the mold, clear the junk food out, go cold turkey, go from having junk food pretty much every day and high caloric foods to suddenly eating clean, and once a week have a day off and go back to bad habits 1 day a week. So I've got a healthier ratio, 6 days to 1, which works for most people, I find. And then hydrate my system up, and because I was really unfit cardiovascular wise, I just did lots of walking. Unfortunately, I went as far as damaging my feet, so I had to back off from that a little bit. Then I did more into my weight training. Phase 2, I got even stricter with my nutrition. Went 2 weeks of completely clean eating into a deficit, and 1 day every fortnight into eating what I wanted. And my weight training became more circuit based, and I introduced a bit more HIIT cardio, and I lost even more weight. So the fitter and leaner you get, the easier it is to apply more to your training, to put more in. Right now I can do weight circuits where I'm doing like 3-4 exercises back to back. I'm doing high volume, high reps, putting a lot of weight through the joint, so for a lot of reps, and that's really helping. Thankfully I've got no injuries, touch wood, but obviously the last time I competed many years ago, I was doing extremely heavy weight, few reps, doing lots of drop sets, lots of fancy exercises, and I just felt that my body was giving up. This time round I feel energized. I'm able to put more volume through my training, and put a lot more effort in. Over the next 5 weeks, now leading up towards the comps, I'm simply depleting my system of every gram of glycogen and carbs, and it's going to be tough. What I noticed with the fitness community, especially with coaches, everyone's got their own conflicting views, and I've just tried everything on my own body, and my strategy works really well for me. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody else because it's so extreme that I wouldn't want anyone else to get ill as a result of what I'm doing. But just to give you an insight, for the next 5 weeks, I'm aiming to do about 1,600 calories of cardio a day, mostly through walking. I introduced a bit of HIIT. I'm doing a weight circuit every day of some description. I'm doing abs 4 times a week. I'm pretty much training myself like an Olympian for the next 5 weeks. I've optimized my pH levels, the likes of my hydration, vitamins. The leaner I get, the more training I do, the more supplements I take, and I'm to the extreme where I'm doing OMAD keto as well. So I would have, imagine this, doing 2 workouts in a day, loads of walking, and only eating in the evening. It's what a lot of professional athletes do. 1 solid meal which is balanced out perfectly with the fats and protein ratio that I need. That meal I consume over a 40-minute period. I just slowly digest it, drink plenty of water, and I'm then full in the evening. I've got then no need and desire to snack and gorge on crap and suddenly re-download Deliveroo or Just Eat, which is so easy to do nowadays. I just would never advise anyone to do this strategy. It's just one that I did when I last competed, and it worked really well. I'm just going a bit more hardcore with it this time, both with the training and with the nutrition discipline. It's easy to slip off the nutrition discipline, and it's easy not to be 100% devoted to the workouts. This time I am. I really want to win, like anyone who's doing these sort of comps. I'm going to the extreme, but you know what, worst comes to it, I'll be in my best shape ever at the Arnold, exhibiting my brand, and I see it as a new start, a kickstart to my career, and can only see positives from it really. So there we go, the extremities the last few years, from completely resting my body, sorting my head out, get my business through COVID, help loads of people, come out the other end to get myself back on track in terms of aesthetics, and get back on the vein train and go as far as competing and exhibiting at what could be Europe's biggest fitness expo this year. So there we go, no pressure. I'll be doing more videos on this channel. Make sure to give give us a subscribe, give us a follow if you like what I'm about, and make sure to follow me on Instagram at Gavin Townsend Fitness. You've caught me on a day where I'm buzzing around a bit. I had a good night's sleep, had a lot of caffeine today, so I will at some point later crash out. But yeah, it's all promising, and just remember, you only get out of life what you put in. So if you like me and you're gonna put all the hours in, and you're gonna keep going back to the drawing board and keep going for it, you're gonna get there one day. It took me many years, many decades of graft, and I'm getting to where I want to be. So there we go. So give us a subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and enjoy your weekend and bank holiday.